Shadow figures, entities that appear darker than the deepest night, have long been associated with the most terrifying and malevolent forces in the spiritual realm. These shadowy beings are not mere figments of imagination. They are manifestations of darkness that defy natural explanation, their presence alone enough to send shivers down the spine of even the most steadfast believer. These figures, often encountered during episodes of sleep paralysis, nightmares, or even in waking states of heightened spiritual awareness, exhibit an undeniable hostility towards anything sacred, especially the Holy Bible, Jesus Christ, and God. Encounters with shadow figures. Imagine lying in bed, the room cloaked in the stillness of night, when suddenly a presence darker than the shadows begins to materialize. It moves with a speed that defies logic, rushing through doors or even walls as if physical barriers are meaningless to it. The sheer velocity of these figures, combined with their unnatural ability to pass through solid objects, suggests a power and malevolence that is far beyond human comprehension. They do not simply move, they invade the space, their approach accompanied by a palpable sense of dread that seems to freeze the very air in the room.
When these shadow figures enter, they do so with a clear and antagonistic purpose. Their hatred for anything holy is palpable, as if the mere mention of Jesus Christ or the presence of a Bible triggers their deepest ire. Shadow figures react violently to the sound of an audio Bible playing in the room and the presence of the crucifix.
Where is your master?
Their voices dripping with disdain and contempt. These utterances are not just words. They are spiritual assaults designed to weaken the faith of the believer, to instill doubt and fear where there should be trust and peace. Visions and horrific dreams. The terror of shadow figures often begins even before they manifest physically. Visions and dreams of horrific deaths are frequently the first step before slipping into sleep paralysis. These dreams are vivid, often filled with grotesque imagery of suffering and torment, setting the stage for the nightmare that is about to become reality.
As the victim transitions from sleep into paralysis, the dream may fade, but the terror only intensifies as the shadow figure becomes visible in the room. These figures are often seen simply standing at the foot of the bed or in a corner, staring intently at their victim. The lack of a face, or a face distorted into a grotesque configuration, adds to the horror. The expressionless void where their features should be seems to draw the viewer in, as if the very absence of identity is a reflection of the evil they embody. When they do have faces, these are often twisted into horrifying shapes, as if mocking the very concept of humanity and decency.
Shadow figures are not just shadows, they are entities of pure evil, manifesting in the darkest corners of our reality. Their presence is a direct challenge to anything holy, their actions a calculated attempt to undermine faith and induce fear. Whether rushing through walls, whispering blasphemies, or simply standing and staring with a faceless void, these figures represent a malevolent force that seeks to destroy the spiritual peace of their victims. The terror they invoke is not just physical, it is deeply spiritual, striking at the very core of a person's being. In the face of such darkness, the only refuge is the light of Christ, the only defense the Word of God, for it is clear that these entities are nothing less than the embodiment of demonic forces that seek to separate us from the love and protection of our Creator.